Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my first update in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan for 2021. And just to really kick it off here, unfortunately I did not hit any new pan, although I did make some good progress, so you want to stick around to see that. When I did this project last year, I always actually hit pan each month that I did it. And I honestly think like the most fun part of this project is being able to pull in a new shade. So what I'm gonna do for months that I don't hit pan is still pull in a new shade to work on. So right now I'm working on 5 shades. This month I'll be working on 6. So it's just like something to do to just have something a little bit more interesting in these videos rather than me just showing you the little bit of progress that I did make, which I did, you know, make some progress on some of these shadows, but no new pan. So that's what we're gonna be doing. I hope that works for you guys and this video is still interesting for you. So what I'm gonna do, what I always do when I kick off this project or these videos, is just talk about my numbers. So again, the numbers are the same as they were in January because I also didn't purchase any new eyeshadows this month, but I still think they're interesting to go over. So I'm gonna dive right into those now. I have my spreadsheet pulled up on my computer right here. I have 218 eyeshadows, 23 are single shadows, 195 are in 12 different palettes. Out of those 218 eyeshadows, I have hit pan on 15 eyeshadows, which makes, for this project and for this 6th one that I'm gonna pull in, 203 eligible eyeshadows to pull in. And my pan percentage is 6.88%. So with all of that being said, I am going to share with you the progress that I did make on the eyeshadows that are currently in this project, and then I'm going to randomly select a number and pull in a new one so that we now have 6 eyeshadows to work on in February. So if that works for you, then please keep watching and let's start talking about the shadows. So the first one comes from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, and it is the shade right here called Roxanne, and I use this shade 11 times. So I use this shade a lot as like my outer corner or my lower lash line, and then I used it a couple times as like the inner and outer corner for a halo eye. So I really do like this shade, which is great for obviously a lot of looks. I feel like it's super versatile, so that shade's been really fun to work with. Again, I only used it 11 times and I hadn't had a lot of use on it before that, so we still have a lot of work to do on that shadow before we hit pan. So the next shade that I have been working on comes from the Urban Decay Naked palette, and it's actually the shade called Naked, and I do have a pretty good dip going. I had used this a bunch previously to this project, and then I used it 12 times. So I do think that I'm going to hit pan on it hopefully soon, the next month or two, because it's a great transition shade, and that's pretty much what I used it all 12 times for. I just use it in my crease, and then sometimes I would blend it along the lower lash line, and that's Naked right there. And then I also pulled another one from this palette. So I pulled this shade right here, Creep, which I did use, let's see, I used Creep 9 times, but I used it for liner. Not a ton of progress on that because I'm just dabbing my brush a little bit into it, so I get a little bit on it, and then I'm using it as an eyeliner on my eye, so not a ton of product. I'm not using a ton of product when I use it, but still I used it 9 times, which I'm happy with, and you know, we're gonna continue to use this and hopefully at some point this year hit pan. If not, then I will certainly know I got my use out of it, and that is Creep right there, swatched. The next shade comes from my ColourPop So Jaded palette, and the shade I selected was this first shade, Diamond, which is actually a Super Shock shadow. And as you can hopefully see, or from the close-up shot that I'm going to put in, I actually have quite a good dent going on this. I've been using it quite regularly. It's just like all over the lid. And so I've used this one 11 times. And it's just a really pretty shade. It's also nice just as a topper, but I've been using it more so just like I said, all over the lid. I think it just is just light and simple, and I'm not really doing anything right now that I need anything more than this. So that is Diamond swatched right there, and I do think I have a pretty good dip going in it. I do think it's a little bit easier to use like a Super Shock shadow than it is potentially to use a powder shadow. So hopefully I will hit pan on this soon. And then the last shade that I picked out from last month also comes from a Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, but it is volume 2, and it is this shade right here, I'm In It. I used this shade twice, so not a whole bunch, to be honest with you. I used it as a center shade of a halo eye, which was really pretty. And I also used it layered on top of Diamond, which is actually how I'm wearing it today. And I really like that because it actually ends up making Diamond with these two together like a really light shimmery pink. So I really like that. And also I think it would be gorgeous in the inner corner. And I honestly haven't worn it like that yet. I've only worn it twice, which is how I thought I was gonna wear it, was like just doing it inner corner. But I focused more on Roxanne, and I feel like I'm in it and Roxanne don't really mesh that well together. So I think that's why I hadn't worn it a bunch, but I'm loving how it looks layered on top of Diamond. So I do have a feeling that in February, I'm gonna be wearing it a lot more like that. And so hopefully you'll see that number go up more than just 2 uses on that. My most used shadow was 12, and then my least used was this one at 2. So I do think I am making progress. It's just not as fast as I normally would. I'm just not wearing makeup as much as I normally would, as I'm sure a lot of you aren't. And obviously, as most of you guys know, if you watch my last video, I am a new mom, so that's just like another reason that I don't have time to put on makeup. But I do think I made some good progress on these, and like I said, all these will be kept in the project until I hit pan. And if I run into months where I don't hit pan on any of the shadows that are in the project, then I'm just gonna add another one in because I think that's fun and it gives me something new to work on or something new to add to this series. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna bring up my phone. In the Pretty Random app, just based on the rows in here, I'm gonna put 20 to 222 and see what shade we select as my 6th shade. So I selected 138. So 138 comes from my little Kaja palette. I guess you could call it a palette, little stack. And it is shade 3. So the name of this stack is Sparkling Rosé, and then shade 3 is this deepest purple shade. So that might be tough to hit pan on just because this is actually like relatively brand new and I think I've only used it once. But that is what we are adding into this project, and it is a beautiful shade. I think it's going to pair really nicely with some of the ones that I already have on here. And honestly, I thought it'd be a little bit more shimmery pulling it up, but actually it doesn't look super shimmery there. So I do think that's going to look really nice with like Diamond or I'm in it. So I'm excited to use this in February. And so now I have 6 shadows that I'm working on. Hopefully I hit pan on one of them so we don't go into March with 7 shadows. But I mean, if that's what happens, that's what we will do, because like I said, I think pulling the new one is the most fun part of this project. I mean, obviously hitting pan is super fun, but I think selecting the new shades is also really fun. So to keep this interesting, I'm just going to keep selecting them if I don't hit pan, but hopefully we hit some pan this month, and yeah, we continue moving through my collection and getting some pan on these eyeshadows so that they are more well loved. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you all are having a great day, staying safe and healthy, and I will catch you in my next video. Thanks so much again. Bye.